Thank you so much for taking time. I am going
Thank
to get to your
you.
background right now. And I just,
Great.
I hate reading a background when somebody's right there because I know it kind of feels odd. But I was running late and I didn't want you to be like, listen, this guy's never going to get around to me.
No
So,
problem.
create a Dubai beauty salon, the Dollhouse, co-founder of the billion-dollar company, Huda Beauty, and creator of, how do you say that? Kayali?
Kayali, yes, that's perfect.
Kayali. Yeah, okay. Attended American University of where's
Sharjah.
Sharjah? I don't want to screw this
Yes.
up. Listen, when I'm dyslexic reading American words, you don't even want to see me do these other things.
Oh,
But
no problem.
with a finance degree and worked as a banker, all right? So you got your financial intelligence right there. But you left that career in finance and was then self-employed for 3 years, during which you created a PR and marketing agency and a business consultancy that helped advise international brands on how to penetrate a regional market. So an immediate power shift to two totally different businesses, but that's not
Yes.
enough. Work nonstop to save enough money and start a beauty salon in Dubai called the Dollhouse, and took on all management departments of Huda Beauty, which you founded with your sister. And
Yes. Thank you. She's watching. She keeps commenting. Hi, Huda.
all right, well, and that's very. And
Yes.
now I believe it's been. Well, first of all, it launched in 2010, and with your sister, and in 2013, when she couldn't find false eyelashes, is that
That's
the case?
right.
So that's when you started to roll it out, right?
Right. So Huda used to create lashes. She was a makeup artist, and she used to create them herself by hand, and she used to like cut lashes together and paste them together for her clients. And we just realized there was such a huge gap in the market, and we're like, this can't be so difficult. And I was a serial entrepreneur at the time, so I was like, why can't we turn this into something bigger? And Huda was so passionate about it, so it was just yeah, it was really great.
But I mean that, and I know you're saying great, but the numbers don't lie. Valued at $1 billion with over 140 products, from eyeshadow palettes to lip gloss. So
Yeah.
that is where people sit up like in the Shark Tank. You sit up and go, oh, wait, what are you talking about now? Because we can talk about all this thing, but there's so many things to talk about. Number one, you went to school for finance, then you pivoted over to PR marketing, and then you pivot over to a beauty salon, and then you pivot over to, which a lot of people right now are having. They have their own salons, or they have something of that nature, or their own business, which is a high touch business, and they want to expand more than that one retail, and they want to get their product, services, or IP out. So tell me about the pivot. Yeah, tell me about the pivots. How did you, whenever you were going from one area to another, and these weren't easy because you were in school and you paid a lot of money to go to school, and you wasted and you busted your ass for a lot of time, and then all of a sudden you're going to do something else. Where does the pivot come from, and what should people do now when they're pivoting? Because what were you going through?
Honestly, it really comes from passion. I never really felt like anything was the end for me until we started Huda Beauty. Starting a business with my family, I think that was probably one of the main reasons why it was successful, why it is successful, because my sister Huda is the founder of the brand, and she's the creative visionary.
Am I saying it right? Huda or
Huda? Huda.
Oh,
Yeah.
I am saying it right. Okay.
Yeah. She's very, very passionate, and I think that having her lead with such a infinite mindset vision is something that's gotten us all to just be very forward thinking about the brand and why it's led to something so grand. I think I personally was I was into entrepreneurship, and I was like, any business that I could think of I would do, and I did a lot of different things. I had a lot of small successes, a lot of failures, and I think that with Huda Beauty it really became strong because it was a collective effort from all of our family together, and we all have such different personalities. But having said that, it's been really, really tough. Like, nothing came easy. We literally had to work so hard, and it's been over 10 years now since we started hudabeauty.com. And, we got a million no's, and we still get a lot of no's. Like, people don't realize, like, even though you achieve a certain number evaluation, it doesn't mean that you're succeeding on every single project, every launch. It doesn't mean that retailers don't tell you no about certain things. So we still have challenges all the time, but we're just working really, really hard because there's so much passion and love and purpose behind the brand.
How many people in your family work together on this? Because it sounds like it was various different people. I thought it was just you and your sister. How many people in your family over the 10 years have jumped in?
So initially it was just Huda, my sister Alia, and myself. And then my brother-in-law, Huda's husband, Chris, joined. And my dad's always been helping a lot. He's retired. My dad is like 76, but he helps us out. And he did help us a lot, especially in the beginning when we weren't able to hire a lot of people. But it really is a family business. And now we have such an incredible team. And the team really is an extension of our family. And I think that's kind of the beauty of having a family business. Like, you just invoke that family spirit into everyone. So we have a really awesome team.
And needless to say, you know, a lot of people I'm sure that work with you or for you are have become family no matter what. And how many
100%.
times though in the early days, how many times did you want to quit, or your sister want to quit, or you just had a bad day and you were just like, this is not going to work out? Because when you say it's really hard, people don't realize, especially after you get to a good level in life, when you say it's really hard, you remember getting your teeth kicked in, right? You remember those times where there was no destiny or no certainty, even though there's no certainty now. Everybody's going through that.
Of course. Absolutely.
Did your family help pick you up? You pick them up? Did you go through that seesaw ride with everybody?
100%. And, I'm not going to lie, we still go through moments where I'm like, oh, this is so hard, because working with family is like the best and worst thing. There's like incredible moments where you're just like, oh, this is so great to be doing this with people you love, people you trust, people that, kind of complete you in terms of their strengths and your weaknesses. But it is really tough. And before we were successful financially, it was really, really tough, because then I was like, why am I doing this? Do I like suffering and like all of that? But I think it just comes from really having a very strong mission to really do something bigger than ourselves, and really, innovate in the industry and bring kindness back to the industry, and really, do something more meaningful. And I think that we were really about inclusivity way before it was popular. When we first started the blog, that was when there was really no Middle Eastern people, no brown people being featured that often in beauty. And that was so unfortunate. So we really wanted to be, kind of sharing for all of the people who weren't really included then. So now I think it's become a popular trend, but we started that 10 years ago.
I think a lot of people can learn from this, because entrepreneurship is a team sport. And if you think that getting into it, you're just going to be able to direct people on what to do and you don't do it yourself, it's really a team sport. And every time I wanted to quit, my partners, Keith, Carl, and Jay, or Bruce and Norman, and all of us were one big family, and they didn't let us quit. Also, though, we also sometimes got out of control, and somebody had to check us too and say, just because you're the boss or you have this position, you can't come in 1 hour a week anymore. Like, we need to find a way to replace you. You know what I mean? Because let's look at that. I mean, the egos go and play. But right now, a lot of people are going to be thinking of their dream business or their dream career with their family members. Can you give us some advice on the best way to navigate those things, and some tips? Any tips on how to do better with our family?
I mean, I think number one, just figure out like what it is you want to do and why. I think for myself personally, like I never really thought so much into the why until after we got our investors, until we got this crazy valuation, until I really had to question, why am I continuing to work when I could really essentially pretty much retire? That I was questioning myself, like, why am I doing this? Why are we here? And it became a moment where I really had to figure out my purpose. So I think that for everyone, I wish I started from the very beginning, like figuring out what is the purpose behind what we're doing. Because I think then you're just a lot more conscious about everything that you create, every single person you touch, whether it's your employees, your customers, and whether it's just through social media and marketing. So I think to really figure out, why are you wanting to do what you want to do? Because I think that's the only thing that's going to keep you going, and as you said, like, it's going to get super tough. You're going to want to give up, no matter, even if you're a superhuman, and even if you are just like the most positive person on the planet, you're going to consider giving up, because, nothing is always easy. So figure out what you would do forever if you aren't going to be paid for it, and like why you would do that. And then I think that's where you find magic. And, we would be doing beauty. We would, like Huda always says, she's like, I would pay someone to let me make makeup. So I'm like, we know that it's coming 100% out of passion. So I think figure out what your passion is.
Yeah, I think I did that with my team, and they did that with me, my friends, when we first came around. And even though we were family, meaning best friends, we said, Jay, you're going to be the actual physical designer because you love fashion so much. And Keith, you're going to be kind of the version of marketing because you love being out there. And a lot of the music artists, they vibe with you. You're a people person, right? You'll go to the studio at 3 o'clock in the morning and smoke weed with an old dirty bastard, and you know, because he'll invite you down, and then you'll say, hey, what about that video tomorrow? You're gonna wear a shirt, you know. I'm gonna be this guy doing this, and we kind of knew each other's roles, and we kind of wrote those down on paper as if, and we said, listen, if 3 overrules 1, then that's the way the decision is gonna go, because sometimes, you know, you get a little cocky, you don't want to hear from your friend, come in earlier or stay later. So I would just say that, you know, if you're going into business with family, first create some kind of structure as well. You know what I mean? So that it's not a free-for-all.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I think that we hold each other accountable even more than we would with a normal employee. Like, we try to be at the office first. We try to leave last if possible, because you lead by example. And I think that a lot of people kind of have glorified entrepreneurship to be your own boss. You get to have it easy and like take it easy, take holidays, you know, come in whenever you want. Like, no, that's not, I mean, I don't think that's really the truth. I think that that's okay if you want to have an okay business that might last for a year or two. But if you're going in it to really create something grand and create a brand that's going to change the industry and really innovate and be something long lasting, you've got to be really tough on yourself, and you've got to set the standard for your entire team.
All right. So I want to ask one last question. I want to be very, you know, cognizant of your time. That right now, so the people who right now are trying to grow online, what do you think? And they have a product or service like we had talked about earlier. What do you think is the best way that they should start growing online?
I think that, you know, just being so lucky to have social media, I think just put your content out there and keep experimenting and see what sticks. You know, the best thing about social media is that right now, I mean, it's free. So, you know, get on to IG Lives, do stories, put things out as much as possible. And I think that's one of the best ways to gain awareness and also find out, you know, I think I watched on a few of your videos where you're just sharing, like, we're so lucky to have a community that can give us feedback and we can take it and use it for improvement. So I think just use your community as much as possible and just keep growing that way. And even if it's slow, like Lewis was just saying, consistency is everything. You know, as long as you're consistent, you're probably going to keep growing, and just keep learning from your mistakes, but don't give up, because, you know, it's right before you're about to give up that I think, you know, the golden pot is right there. You just have to keep going. So
all right, so if anybody wants to, obviously, you know, they can reach you at Mona Kattan, but your brand, and just give me all your social media platforms just in case, because I see a lot of people here who are into beauty, and I'm sure you have a lot of great advice to give them.
So you can follow me at Mona Kattan. Our brand is at Huda Beauty, and my perfume brand is at Kayali. And we have a skincare brand as well, which is at Wishful Skin.
I don't know. We got beautiful skin.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and I appreciate you taking the time. Sorry I was running a little bit late.
Oh,
I don't want the IG to cut off.
I just have to fangirl for 1 second. I have to say, like, I grew up on Shark Tank.
Oh,
and
wow.
literally
Make me feel old?
No, like, I feel
That's
like my entire, like, professional life, I was watching. You're the only TV show I watch. And I've learned so much from you guys, and I really appreciate everything that you do personally. I watch your content too, and it's been so great to learn from you. So thank you for everything that you do. You're so awesome.
Oh, I really appreciate you, and that means a lot to me. And thank you so much. And we'll be talking later about hopefully some other stuff. So all the best, and stay safe.
Thank you so much. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.